We need to talk about the Apple Watch again. On this channel I primarily look at new products from a sports perspective, and for the Apple Watch I could always draw a quite positive conclusion with some key drawbacks however. But some of these issues are now supposedly fixed in the new watchOS 11 update. This was announced earlier this week and is set to be released as a public beta next month for all Apple Watches from the Series 6 onwards. So of course, this update is also preparing the manufacturer for the release of the new Apple Watches in September, giving us a preliminary look at what to expect. In today's video we'll discuss all the new features of the watchOS 11 update and whether they finally make the Apple Watch a truly competitive sports watch. So let's dive right in and have fun. One thing I've always criticized in my Apple Watch reviews is the lack of tools for training analysis. While you could download external apps, there were no pre-installed widgets or apps to show recovery or training status. But apparently, at least one Apple employee has regularly been watching my videos, at least I hope so, because this gap has now finally been closed. In the familiar Activity app, after updating to watchOS 11, you will see how your workouts affect your fitness level. First of all, you will be able to rate the effort of each of your workouts on a scale of 1 to 10, and this rating will then also be displayed in the workout summary. For 17 sport profiles, including classics like running or cycling, an automatic rating will be assigned, which you can adjust however. This will then serve as a basis for assessing your training load. For this, your average training load over the past 28 days and over the past 7 days will be calculated, and then these two values will be compared. So then you will be able to see whether you are currently overtraining, undertraining, or on the right track. So this white line here represents your average 28-day training load, and the other line is for the last 7 days. And then you will see whether your 7-day load is well below, steady, above, or well above your long-term 28-day load. This is similar to Garmin's chronic and acute training load and also other manufacturers' methods of calculating training load, which however often result in one specific numerical value. Apple however avoids these absolute numbers and rather uses relative values, such as being 25% over your 28-day training load. This approach is more meaningful for most people, helping you see if you're training too much or too little. I'm definitely excited to see this feature in practice and how well it will actually reflect my training load. Another quite interesting new feature is the so-called Vitals app. It's a simple app where you can see your most important health data at a glance. This includes heart rate, respiratory rate, skin temperature, sleep duration, and blood oxygen levels. While separate apps already existed for these metrics before, they are now all consolidated into one app. We know this concept from Garmin's morning report, where you see key data upon waking up, or the health snapshot feature. With the watchOS 11 update, the Vitals app will then also show whether all of these metrics are within a normal or typical range. If 2 or more measurements fall outside this range, you will receive a notification, and in this notification it will also try to explain possible reasons, such as being at a high altitude, which can affect your blood oxygen levels, alcohol consumption, or illness. The watch can't determine the exact reason, but it will list potential factors. This typical range differs from person to person, of course. It will be automatically calculated when you sleep, so it will take a few days to set this typical range, and then you will be able to see, for example, that in the previous night your heart rate was well above or well below your typical range. So the Vitals app is designed to provide a quick overview of your most important health data and to easily monitor whether they are within the normal range. Another feature that has been lacking for athletes using the Apple Watch is offline maps for navigation. But this issue has now also been addressed, more or less. The Apple Maps app now includes hikes for all US national parks. These hiking routes can be stored on the watch and used offline without needing your iPhone. However, this feature is just applicable to users in the US. But additionally, even outside of the US, in the Maps app you can now create your own walking routes, because before you could set a point A and a point B and the Maps app would just calculate the fastest route. But for example, hikers don't always want the fastest route, but sometimes they want a custom route, like a more scenic route or whatever. So now you can set your own walking routes, load them onto the watch and use them offline. This is a very nice addition to the navigation features for athletes, especially hikers or trail runners. However, this will initially only apply to pedestrian activities such as running, hiking, and similar activities, but unfortunately not for cycling. However, what's still unclear is whether we will finally see navigation in the training mode itself, because for most traditional sports watches, you can just scroll down during a workout and see a map. So far, Apple has not provided this feature, and it seems that the updates only affect Apple's Maps app, not the training mode. Therefore, for navigation during training, you will still need to switch between different widgets. Another new feature is that your completed route and distance data can now be calculated for more sport profiles thanks to improved GPS positioning. This includes activities like rowing, football, skiing and snowboarding, and golf. Lastly, let's talk about a few smaller health and fitness features. Firstly, you can now create interval workouts or own structured workouts for swimming. Before, you could only do that for running and cycling. Additionally, for all structured workouts, for all interval workouts, there is a new Up Next view where you can see how much time is left in your current segment and what segment comes next. The fitness rings are already familiar. They show how far you've progressed in achieving your daily fitness goals. You also receive awards for closing the rings. What's new is that you can now pause this for a day, a week, or a month if, for example, you're injured or if you're traveling without breaking your streak of awards. Additionally, your fitness goals are now more customizable, because before you could set one specific value like burning 500 calories, and this would apply to every day of the week. However, if, for example, you're way more active on the weekends or if you have long work shifts on Mondays and Tuesdays, you can now customize this so you can set specific fitness goals for each day of the week. The app itself is also now more customizable. You can move, adjust, or delete widgets as you prefer, allowing you to display the most interesting statistics at the top and completely hide the ones you're not interested in. Additionally, there's a new cycle tracking app for women where you can track a pregnancy and monitor key health data accordingly. While this won't be relevant to me, or I just won't be able to test this, I definitely find the new fitness and health features quite useful, especially the option of customizing your fitness rings, and also the app sounds quite useful. Alright, so what can athletes expect from the new watchOS 11 update? First of all, I want to mention that in this video I didn't talk about all of the new features of the watchOS 11 update. I especially didn't talk about some of the smart features because in this video we focus on the sports and health features. For athletes, this is probably one of the biggest, or let's say most promising updates from the manufacturer so far. In my reviews of the Apple Watches, I have repeatedly highlighted the need for better training analysis tools, almost like a broken record, because during training itself there was always a great selection of features, but unfortunately there were not too many options outside of that. The new training load widget now certainly looks promising, even though it will probably not reach the depth of what Garmin, Polar or Chorus offers with their training analysis tools. This update lays an important foundation. All athletes can definitely look forward to this, and I'm very eager to test this out next month. The improvements in offline navigation are not quite where I hoped they would be, so there are some nice additions, but I would really love to finally see navigation features in the training mode itself. The enhanced customization of the fitness rings and the app itself also gives me something to look forward to. And talking about that, I'm definitely looking forward to the new Apple Watches, and with this update, Apple is definitely gearing up for these releases, so this will be the Apple Watch Series 10 and hopefully the Ultra 3, which should come out in September or October. The sport and training suitability of the Apple Watches is improving year by year, and the new features in this update will certainly contribute further, even though issues like battery life will probably remain a significant concern for athletes. But still, I'm curious to see how it all pans out. But now let me know in the comment section down below what you think of the new Apple Watch OS 11 update. If you found this video helpful or interesting, you could also really support me and my work here by giving this video a quick thumbs up. I would be very happy to see this. And if you don't want to miss any further videos in the future, for example videos about the new Apple Watches, then you should definitely subscribe to this channel. But for now, thanks a lot for watching and see you next time.